I'm currently putting up some stud work with materials like CLS, OSB and plasterboard, and it's highlighted to me the nonsense in the sizing of some of these materials. So today I'm going to explain to you what sizes they come in, the problems with that, and more importantly, what to look out for, because not everything is as you may think. Yes, I'm in the middle of a fit out job, which requires me to construct a number of stud walls, similar to the sort of thing that you may find in an extension build or partitioning a room, or if you're thinking about building a garden room. And just highlights to me some of the bizarre differences in sizes of material that nearly always go together, which makes no sense at all. And if you're doing a job like this, at best, will make you scratch your head, and at worst will drive you completely nuts and cost you time and money. So let's start with something that always catches people out, which is, why is materials like 3x2 say not? Calling timber 3x2 or 4x2 is still very common in the UK, especially in builders merchants where you may be buying it from, but size wise it will never be these dimensions, because these are what's called nominal sizes, which is the size of the timber before it's machined down to the final product. So when people say you've got 3x2, you haven't really, you've actually got 2.5 by 1.5, and 4x2 ends up as 3.5 by 1.5. So this bit around the outside isn't yours. You'll never see it. It's gone forever. But what you will get is 63 by 38 or 89 by 38, which is definitely not 100 by 50. A lot of what you see in shops these days will be called CLS timber. It's really common and you can spot it easily, as it's going to be smooth, it's planed all round, and also have rounded edges, which makes it safe to handle. CLS stands for Canadian Lumber Standard, which means it's got to conform to a number of things like strength, size, the number of knots, straightness and the slope of grain. This means in theory that every piece of a 2.4 metre long CLS bundle should be pretty straight and ready to use. So the allowed deflection according to the CLS specification is 24 millimetres in the long direction for a board like this, and the spring that's in the short direction is 14. So something like this doesn't conform. But the advantage of buying it somewhere like this, although it's quite expensive, is you can pick the straight bits. CLS is always kiln dried, and you get it untreated like I'm getting here, or treated. You'll also sometimes see markings for C16 and C24, which distinguishes between two different strength specs, the C24 being stronger and straighter. But just for internal stud work or general work around the house, you don't have to worry about that and just go for the C16. Let's now get on to the more complicated stuff, which is sheet material. When we say sheet material, we mean anything from plasterboard, plywood, MDF or OSB. And the first thing to know is, although it might all look like the same size, it isn't. Let's start with plasterboard or drywall if you're from the US. Whatever type you buy in the UK, be it tapered edge, straight edge, standard, fire resistant, it will all be 2.4 metres by 1.2 metres. That's a metric size, perfect for 2.4 metre high ceiling. And because it's 1200 wide, you can space your studs at 400 centres to pick up all the edges exactly. However, when it comes to plywood, MDF or OSB, these mostly come in imperial measurements, so 8 by 4 feet, which is actually 2.44 by 1.22, meaning it won't fit the same stud spacing, which can be a real pain. And this is the problem. I'm building a wall here that I want plasterboard on one side and OSB on the other. Very similar to building a garden room where you might have plasterboard, 4x2s, then OSB and your waterproofing, and then cladding on the outside of that. So I've set my studs here to 400 millimetre centres, which is perfect for plasterboard, because that means that being 1200 wide, that the plasterboard edges get picked up, and I've got two in the middle. In fact, these two are two different sheets of plasterboard. If you look on the other side, I've actually got a joint of plasterboard running right down the middle of this stud, where both of them are fixed to it. So these are two independent sheets. Now, when I bring out my ply or my OSB, because this material is 20 millimeters wider than the plasterboard, it's not 1.2, it's 1.22, then the first edge is now flush with the stud, which means the next edge that butts up against it is now waving in the wind. It's got nothing to bear against. And if I do put that one in, the next one is 20 millimeters on, and that's really waving in the wind. That's got nothing to fix to at all. So because these two sheets are different widths, they're now staggered and it's not working. Now the solution to that is to cut 20 millimeters off of this OSB sheet, bringing it back to the middle of this stud, and cut 20 millimeters off each successive one, and I assume 40 millimeters off the top to make it the same size as a sheet of plasterboard. I'm not sure though why I need to do that. Shouldn't these be made in the same size as the plasterboard? And obviously, if you don't have to match the width of plasterboard and you're simply just putting up plywood, MDF or OSB, then rather than cutting 20 millimeters off of each board, you'd keep the full boards and just adjust the stud spacing. Suddenly it goes from 400 millimeters to 406.666, which is absolutely fine. However, you've probably bought your 2.4 meter studs, and if you're going to use this as a sole plate and as a top plate, then what you find is 406 millimeters is fine until you get to the last one, and then it just hangs over the edge by 20 millimeters. Suddenly this is the wrong width rather than your ply or your OSB. Now, having said all of that, you can sometimes get these sheets in a metric 2.4 by 1.2 instead of Imperial, but they are few and far between. So when you're buying this type of sheet material, take a tape measure with you so you know exactly what you're getting, because even the stores get mixed up themselves. Here's some of the materials at my local DIY shop, who seems to be advertising nearly all their plywood and OSB of 2.4 by 1.2, but it isn't. Nearly all of it is 2.44 by 1.22, but then some of it actually is. So whether it's a high street DIY shop or builders merchants, double check what you're getting so you don't get any surprises. And just the last little tip, if you don't need a full sheet of ply or MDF or OSB, make sure at least you buy a full sheet and get the DIY shop to cut it to size for you. That means that you've got some left over for future projects. As you can see here, this is 1/6 of a sheet of MDF for just over half the price of a full sheet. Not such a good deal. So if you are planning a project in the future using materials like this, at some point you will have to compromise between one or another. However, at least if you know what the problems are and the challenges are going to be, at least you can plan, get the right materials and make the right decisions. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will see you next time.